Good morning, all. We're moving through a yin and yang flow today. It is Spring Forward Day in Northeast Ohio. So we all lost an hour of sleep, much to many people's chagrin. My early morning class was very small because people forget that it's Spring Forward. So Cyndy is going to be our lovely model today and guide us through a yin and yang practice. We're beginning with hands stacked on top of the heart. Close your eyes and begin to connect to your breath here. Spring awakens in Northeast Ohio very slowly, sometimes disguised as our second, third, or fourth winter. My daffodils popped up in December and are patiently waiting to emerge at the right time. As human beings in the world, independent yet interdependent, we've had a year of slowing down, and we too are patiently awaiting to emerge as the daffodils at the right time. Take a moment to set an intention for spring, or perhaps just our time together today. We'll move through some flows today, but also slow down, interspersing some yin poses for spring. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Bow into your intentions, tap your thumbs to your third eye, honoring the intentions that you set. Lift your chin, draw your thumbs to your heart. We'll come into a pose called tadpole. So bringing the big toes together and your knees apart as wide as is comfortable. Wider than child's pose if you can get there. I know it's an early pose. And then take your forearms to blocks or a block. Get settled in. Give your hips a gentle press back towards your heels. Maybe keep your forearms on the blocks. Maybe bend your elbows and tap your thumbs to your third eye.
My arms are too long.
That's fine. Or maybe behind your heart. From your tadpole pose, as you begin to settle in, feel your tailbone lift lightly up to the sky and your inner thighs widen back towards your feet. Again, a little deeper than a child's pose, but comfortably wide for you. Return to your intention. Begin to slowly bring your fingers, your hands back to the floor, lining yourself up in a table pose. From your table pose, curl all 10 toes and pressing strongly into the hands, begin to stretch your hips back towards your heels. Maybe getting your hips way back to the heels, maybe close, depending on your knee flexibility this morning. Draw yourself back to center. And we'll do that 2 more times with the toes curled, pressing all 10 toes into the floor. Really stretch and press your hips back towards your heels. Slowly bring yourself back to center. And 1 more time, do that. Pressing hips back towards the heels. Toes are curled. Wake up the soles of your feet. And bring yourself back to center. Shoulders over the heels of the hands. Now uncurl your toes. Tap your toes lightly on the mat. And with the toes remaining uncurled now, press strongly into the hands. Begin to slightly dome the upper back. Pull your low belly, low ribs in. Press them into the tops of the feet. Float your knees away from the floor. Stretch the tops of your feet and your ankles. And slowly release. We'll do that 2 more times, pressing into the hands, dome the upper back, knit the low belly, low ribs, and hover the tops of your feet, your ankles, your knees away from the floor. Pressing strongly into your toenails. Exhale, release your knees back to the earth. And we'll do that 1 more time, pressing into the hands, knit the belly and ribs, and hover your knees. Slowly release your knees back to the earth, finding table pose. Sit your hips back onto your heels now. We're going to do a little release for the wrists. You can come to toe sit if you like, or you can just uncurl your toes and come back to sit. Bring your hands to a prayer, and we're going to turn the fingertips towards the heart and then bring the backs of the hands together. So your pinkies will stay together, and you'll bring the backs of the hands together and just begin to roll your hands in circles like this. So bring the palms together and then the backs of the hands together. And just begin to release your wrists, coming fully back to the palms of the hands. So take your time, move slowly like the daffodils, and release your wrists. Bring your hands back to prayer, return to your intention, and close your eyes. Bring your hands to the earth now in table. Curl your toes, hover your knees. Toes are curled this time. We'll give the tops of your feet a break. Engage your core, knit the low belly, low ribs. Press strongly into the earth and begin to tiptoe your feet to your hands. Keep your knees super soft like a chair. Coming into fold. Bend your knees, rise to stand. All the way up. Reach your arms up. And lift your heels and lower your heels. Lift and lower, waking up the soles of your feet. Find a focal point, that helps. Spread your toes wide, let your heels lift and lower. The next time your heels lower, keep them there. Take a little side bend to the right. Come back to center, side bend to the left. Come back to center, heel toe your feet a footprint wider and find a chair pose with your forearms on your thighs. Move through a few rounds of cat and cow from here. So curl your whole back body and then soften your heart forward, tail lifts. Get connected to the rhythm of your breath. The next time you pass through neutral spine, begin to extend your legs, forward fold. Maybe a little deeper this time, so bend and extend your knees a few times. Notice how this feels this morning. Place your hands on the floor, a little wider than your shoulders, and step back to plank. Now, if you can keep your knees lifted in plank, do that. If you need to drop your knees, do that. And shift into the toes and the heels if you're in high plank. So kind of the same thing we were doing standing, just shifting toes to heels, waking up the soles of your feet. And then the next time you shift into your toes, come down in chaturanga or knees, chest. Hands underneath the shoulders, roll through a few rounds of Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Inhale, lift your heart, shoulders back. Exhale, lower it down. Again, connect to the rhythm of your breath. One more round, lift and lower, and find your downward facing dog at the bottom of that exhale. If puppy dog calls to you this morning, keep your knees on the floor. If down dog works, lift your knees, lift your seat. Keep your knees a little soft here. Come back up on your tiptoes, bend your knees, hop, step, or float forward, forward fold. Soft knees, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward bend. Do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to let go. Root down, rise with your breath, coming all the way up to that side bend to the right. Reach your arms over to the right. Come back to center and side bend left. Bring it back to center, raise your arms up, lift and lower your heels a few times again, finding that focal point in front of you to keep yourself steady. The next time your heels come down, lower to chair pose, bend your knees. Hands to heart or reach them forward. It doesn't have to be the deepest chair ever. Take a breath here, lower your hands, lift your hips forward, fold. Halfway lift, inhale, and let it go, exhale. Step your left foot back, high lunge, twist. Keep your left hand down, raise your right arm up. You can put your hand on a block or keep it on the earth. Draw your head and your throat back. Connect to your breath again. Exhale, release your hands, step back, plank. Again, maybe float in and out of the toes and heels, waking up the soles of the feet. Come through to a cobra pose again, this time one cobra. Maybe hang out for a breath or two. Down dog on your exhale. Raise your left leg, three-legged dog, bend, twist, and open. Stack your hips. Maybe circle your toes in the air. Spread and curl your toes. Extend your legs, square your hips, and step through to a high lunge. Twist, right hand down, left arm rises. Again, you can place those fingertips on a block or place them on the earth. Take one more breath. Return your left hand to the earth. Step your right foot forward. Inhale to lift halfway, and exhale to let it go. Root to rise, up to stand. Take that side bend. Go right first. Extend your arms. Come back to center and move to the left. Come back to center. Raise and lower your heels once again. Find that focal point. Wake up your toes. Heels meet the mat, chair pose, hands to heart or reach them forward. Take another deep breath and on your exhale, fold over your legs, standing forward bound. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale to let go. This time, step your right foot back. Take a high lunge twist on the left, right hand down, left arm rises. Extend from the right hand to the left. Squeeze your feet together. Draw your heart, your throat, your ears back. One more breath. Exhale, release, step back plank. Again, maybe floating into the toes and the heels randomly here. As you're ready, move through Chaturanga, knees, chest, chin, floating into your cobra pose. One pose, couple breaths. Downward dog on your next exhale. Raise your right leg, bend, twist, and open. Maybe circle those toes. Got that big pop crack out, that was good. Extend your leg long, balance your hips, and step through to high lunge twist, second side. Left hand down, right arm rises. Right hand meets the earth, step into forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway, and exhale to let go. Root down, rise with your breath. Urdhva Hastasana, lift your arms, palms forward, lift your heart. Take a little back bend here. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold, back over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back plank pose. Opportunity to flow through or meet me in dog or puppy. Any of the flows we do today, you can do from downward facing dog or table pose. Make the choices that work. Extend your right leg, three-legged dog. Take a breath here. Step your right foot forward a little wider than that right hand, coming into high lunge. We're just a little bit wide. So keep your fingertips on the floor, squeeze your legs together, offer the heart forward, take a breath. Step your left foot wider than your left hand, coming into some kind of a squat pose. So maybe it's a high squat, elbows on thighs, like we did earlier. Maybe it's low and you can get closer to the earth. You'll get another opportunity, so take your time. Take another breath. Float your fingers down, your hips up. Forward fold, heel toe your feet in. Halfway lift, inhale. Let it go, exhale. Root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift your arms, lift your heart, little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back plank. Again, option to flow or option to meet me in dog or table. Raise your left leg, three-legged dog. Take a breath here and step beyond the left hand, right to the outside edge of that mat. Pause right there in high lunge, squeeze your feet together and extend your heart forward. Really work your legs. Step your right foot wider than your right hand, squat pose. One more time. Bend your knees, send your hips towards the floor. Maybe go a little deeper this time. Be where you are. Let it grow slowly. One more breath here. As you exhale, fold over the legs, heel toe your feet in, forward fold. We're hanging out right here for a breath or two. With your inhale, lift halfway, step to table. Bring your hands to the earth and your knees to the earth. Pause here in a neutral spine. Extend your right arm to the sky. We'll thread the needle. Inhale. Take your arm underneath your left side, exhale. You can place your temple on a bolster or a blanket if you like. Get settled into the earth. You can grow this shoulder opener by extending your left fingertips forward or your left toes back, or stay a little more snugly and grounded. Begin to slide your left hand, left knee back in if it's lengthened, and stretch your right arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, hand under the shoulder. Take it to the second side. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, underneath your right side. Rest on your left shoulder, cheek, and temple. Again, perhaps growing a pose by extending right fingertips forward, right toes back, or staying in a softer, smaller shape. Begin to slide your right hand in front of your face. Press down, extend your left arm to the sky, and bring your left hand underneath its shoulder. I'm gonna have Cyndy turn to face the camera. We're coming back to tadpole and moving into frog as an option. So if you'd like to place a bolster or a blanket underneath your knees, really spreading the blanket out wide to accommodate the width of tadpole and frog pose, you may. Now Cyndy has the bolster. She can place that underneath her chest for either pose instead of blocks. We'll come to tadpole first. So bringing big toes together, knees as comfortably wide as possible. Elbows on the earth or elbows on a block. And perhaps bringing thumbs to third eye or behind the heart. Return to your intention for the practice today or your intention for spring. If you're comfortable here and this is enough, let it be enough and remain. If you'd like to move into a deeper version of this pose, come to frog. Turn your toes out. So from hip to knee to heel, you have about 90 degrees. Cindy's gonna slide that bolster right underneath her chest. She can bring her forehead to the bolster or turn her head to one side. If holding frog is challenging for you, you can bring your forearms to the floor or to blocks and shift your weight forward and back. Make it more dynamic. If holding seems okay for you in this moment, take a breath, let it go, and hold the pose. Take 3 more complete breaths, following with your awareness to the top chest and back to the belly. At the bottom of your third exhale, begin to gently press yourself up and out of Bakasana, frog pose. Bring your big toes in to kiss again. Find a more narrow version of tadpole, more like child's pose. So bring your knees closer and bring yourself into child's pose. Take one more long breath in and out here. And slowly rise up, coming to a table pose. I'll have Cyndy turn and face the top of the mat once again. So bring a block to the back and to the front of your mat. We'll move through a flow that takes us to the back of the mat and then back up to the front of the mat. So one block at the back, one block at the forward of the mat. Coming back to a little movement, a little yang before we move into some yin. Find your downward facing dog. Let this one be really wiggly, like you're the daffodil wiggling yourself out of the stem, blooming. Blossom your booty, right? As they say. Raise your right leg, 3-legged dog. Bend, twist, and open. Extend your legs, square your hips, curl your knee in and step through, high lunge. Find your twist again. Left hand down, right arm rises. Wiggle back through your left toes and drop your left knee. Maybe stretch your right hand back. Open the front of the chest. Cindy's taking a half bind. That looks yummy. That might be a good option. Take another breath here. Begin to unwind your bind, or if your hand is reaching back, bring it all the way forward. Lift that left knee, bring your heel down, warrior 2. Rise with your breath, settle into your hips, your shoulders, squeeze your feet together and reverse your warrior. We'll move between warrior 2 and reverse warrior. Exhale, come back warrior 2. Inhale, reverse that warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. And inhale, reverse, and hold. Stay right there. Take another breath. Return to warrior 2. Locate that block in your vision, and you'll bring your hand to the block, preparing for half moon. So place your right hand on the block. Bring your left hand to your waist. Bring the block just beyond your right pinky toe. Begin to lift that left leg. Maybe you need to lift and lower. Maybe you want to keep both hands on the floor. That's cool. Externally rotate the left hip and toes. Slowly bend the right knee and extend your right leg. We'll do that 3 times. Soften into your right knee. Extend your leg. Last time, bend your knees, step back, warrior 2. There we go. Turn your legs for goddess. So reach your arms up, turn your toes and heels, settle into a goddess pose. Now you can take that wrist release that we did earlier again, so spinning to the backs of the hands and the palms of the hands, backs of the hands and palms of the hands. Really, this is just to distract you from the fact that you're in goddess pose, right? And then settle in with palms together, settle into your goddess, get lower in the hips, squeeze your feet together, press your palms together. Release your hands, give them a wiggle. We're turning to the back of the mat for a high lunge. So turn the left toes back, pop the right heel up. Reach your arms up to the sky, high lunge. Open your arms to how wonderful. Nice big T, palms up, elbows soft. Take a breath in and out here. Really glide the shoulders down your back. Beautiful. Inhale your arms to the sky. Bring your hands to the inside of your left foot. Wiggle back into the right toes, coming into a lizard lunge. So you can keep your knee lifted. You can lower it. It depends on what you want this morning. So either wiggle back and drop your knee or keep it up. Maybe forearms to that block at the back of your mat. Let go of the gripping. Let yourself soften and slowly open. Begin to slowly come back up to your hands. Keep the left foot a little wide, and you'll step your right foot up for squat pose again. Back of the mat. If you want to sit on a block, you can. We won't be here super long though, so get yourself settled. Now when we come back up to the top of the mat and do this, then you'll have the opportunity to stay. Take one more breath. Hands down, hips up, parallel the feet, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Tone your core, rise to stand, reach your arms up, heart up, Urdhva Hastasana, heart up, hands up, lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale to lift halfway, we'll take it back to plank and flow through. One more time. Make your way back to dog or to table if that's where you're transitioning from today. Extend your left leg, three-legged dog, bend, twist, and open. Again, you can do this from table, you can do this from dog. Extend your legs, square your hips, curl in, and step through to high lunge twist. Right hand down, left arm up. Wiggle back into those right toes as you settle in and drop your right knee, coming to twisted low lunge. Perhaps extend your left arm back. Maybe take a half bind, because that looked pretty good on the first side. Draw your ears back, your throat back. Settle in. Begin to release that bind, bringing your hands to frame that left foot. Bring your right knee up, coming into warrior 2 once again. Extend your arms, squeeze your feet strongly together, flowing between reverse warrior and warrior 2. Inhale, extend back. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, reach back, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. One more time, reverse and hold. Settle into the bend of the left knee. Breathe into your left ribs. On your next exhale, warrior 2. Find that block in your vision. Bring the block into the pinky edge of your left foot this time. Begin to step the right foot in. Prepare for half moon. Right hand to the right hip. Again, if you need to place both hands on the mat, depending on time of day or how balanced you're feeling, you might want to do that. Otherwise, lift the right leg. Roll that right hip on top of the left. Soften into the left knee. Bend it and extend it. Again, bend it and extend it. This time, bend and step back again, warrior two. Find your goddess pose. Turn to the long edge of the mat again. Toes out, heels in, press into the hands, press into the feet, squeeze your feet together. Find balance there. Maybe close your eyes. Let your head rest above your tail, your shoulders soft on your back. Take one more breath. Begin to lengthen your legs. Turn yourself back up to the top of the mat for high lunge. Right toes forward, left heel pops up. Raise your arms to the sky. Hug your feet together for stability. Find that easy, balanced breath again. How wonderful those arms. Bend your elbows, lift your palms to the sky, lift your heart. Take another breath. Let it go. Circle your arms up to the sky. Frame your foot. Bring your hands to the inside of that right foot. Maybe heel toe it out and drop your left knee, or don't. A lizard lunge. Maybe float your elbows to a block. Maybe your elbows to the floor and your forehead to a block. Find the shape that serves you on this side in this moment. Settle in and soften. Three more breaths. At the bottom of your third exhale, we're coming into squat at the top of the mat. So lift your left knee, bring your left foot wider than your hand. You can sit on a block or a stack of blocks or your cushion. If you're at home and you have a footstool there and that serves you better, sit on the footstool. Knees wide, toes out, spine is long. Float your hands back to the earth. Slowly stretch your hips up. Find a wide fold, maybe hands to elbows in a ragdoll. Let it go. As we turn towards the end of the practice today, we'll finish with some yin poses as well. So bring yourself to the earth as you're ready. Ooh, lots of cracking in the
The whole left side just has to let go. Okay.
Sit on a blanket, and I'm going to have Cyndy turn and face the camera today. So sit your sit bones on a blanket so you can get a lot of lift to the inner thighs here. And we'll start in bound angle, Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, and yin. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. You can keep the big toe, inner heel sealed together, or perhaps it feels better for you to let that go. Soften as you can, and leading with a wide collarbone, smiling them wide, bow forward. You can walk your hands beyond your feet or keep your hands on your feet or ankles. Opening slowly. Take one more long breath in and out where you are. And begin to slowly upright yourself. Coming into square pose now. In Hatha Yoga, we call it Agni Stambhasana, fire line. So fold the left heel in towards your right hip. No, you're good. So you're opposite.
Oh, all right.
Left heel in towards your right hip and stack the other shin on top. So ankles and knees are stacked. If you're really close, you can draw the flesh away from the sit bones and give yourself a little more space. If you're not close at all, you can tuck a block underneath that knee. Or, for some of you, you may be better off extending your right leg long and coming into more of a seated pigeon pose rather than square pose. So find the pose that works for you. Give yourself a moment. So Cyndy's going to come back into the pose that she can. Activate your feet no matter which pose you took. And again, leading with the heart, start to walk your hands forward. Keep the sit bones on the earth, widen your thighs just like you did in tadpole. Grab your blocks if you need them. Good thought. Let the collarbones grow wide. Soften into your breath. Let go of the gripping. Return to your intention for the practice. Return to your intention for spring. Slowly opening. Let go of the gripping. Stay with your breath. Begin to walk your hands back in. We'll slide our knees to stack on top of one another in Gomukhasana legs. So Cyndy's just going to slide that right knee on top of the left knee. If that doesn't work for you, you're going to come into an easy seat with the right shin in front of the left. Take a breath and reach your arms to the sky. We'll take a twist from here. Bring your left hand across to your right knee. Left hand, right knee? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're going opposite, right? And bring the other hand behind your back. Again, let the knees heavily stack. Keep your feet lightly engaged. Breathe into your twist. Notice if you're gripping in the quads or the knees or the hips. Where can you soften? Where can you let go? Take another breath here. And begin to slowly unwind your twist. You might need your hands to help unwind your legs. We've been in this cross shape for a while, so extend your legs and give them a little wiggle. Actually bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips, legs are long. And then find a little bend to the knees, so not wide leg fold, but a little bit wider than a forward fold. Bend your knees, flesh away from the seat, and walk your hands forward between your feet. You might even be able to grab your feet and find a little resistance there. Pull your heart forward as your thighs go wide, hips go back. Maybe you want to interlace your fingers and your toes if your toes are really open. Maybe not, right? That's hard to do from the front side, isn't it?
Especially if you have broken toes.
If you've got broken toes, probably not. Keep stretching and extending forward with the chest as you lift and widen the thighs and the sit bones. Enjoy an easy, soft stretch to the hamstrings. So bend your knees enough. Take one more breath. If your fingers are in your toes, begin to unwind them. Slowly rise. We'll take it to the second side. So Cyndy's going to fold the left heel in towards the right seat this time and cross the other shin over, coming into square pose. Stacking ankles, stacking knees. Again, if this does not work for you, you will unleash one leg, the bottom leg, and extend it forward in seated pigeon. Keep your feet active. If you have a little room and you can draw the flesh away from your seat to go deeper, you can do that. If you have a lot of room but you want to stay with square, you can tuck a block underneath your knee. Get really tall and begin to walk your hands and your heart forward. So keep your spine long. Sit bones are grounded, thighs go wide. Close your eyes, connect to your intentions and to your breath. Three more breaths where you are. We'll begin to move into cow face legs. So bringing one knee to stack on top of the other. Heels are next to the hips. Toes are lightly active, knees are stacked. Stack your spine and get heavy through the hips, heavily stacking one knee on top of the other, and we'll find a little twist from here. Extend your arms up and cross your right hand over that top thigh, bringing your left hand behind you into the earth. Strong breath here. Feel your breath draw in and out. Pay attention as it rises from belly to ribs to heart and right back down. One more long breath in. And as you exhale, slowly unwind. Extend your legs. Might need to help them along here. Give them a wiggle. One more time, feet a little bit wider than the hips, knees easily bent here. Walk your hands forward, maybe reaching for your toes, maybe just rolling the tops of the toes back or grabbing the outer heel. Extend your heart forward. Maybe you can start to walk your legs just a little bit longer. Take it easy. Move slowly and with intention. One more long breath. And rise back up. Give your legs a nice wiggle, shake them out. We'll be coming to an inclined bolster for Supta Baddha Konasana as we close our practice today, our final yin pose. So you can place a block at the lowest level or underneath the top of the bolster, so you're sitting in front of the bolster and your spine goes back on the bolster. If you need a second block for underneath your knees, you can grab a third block actually for underneath your knees, or you can wrap a blanket around your ankles for support. So rolling your blanket up like a long Tootsie Roll and just wrapping it around your ankles or tucking it underneath the other knee. Rest your spine on the bolster, let your palms turn up to the sky. Take a long breath in and a soft sigh out. Settling into Shavasana today, return your attention solely to your breath. Follow its rhythm and pacing. Give yourself permission to slow down. From Dana Falls, go in and in. Who can resist the first optimistic moment of dawn? The dazzling sliver of light, sun rising, rounding, making the profound shift from promise to presence. Every possibility contained in a single instant. Light linking us to vastness. Light reaching back to the formation of stars. Light that will not let us forget that we are daily born again in radiance. If you have additional time to spend in Supta Baddha Konasana today, please do. If you're moving on with your day, begin to slowly fold your knees back together and make any last movements that you need. Roll yourself to the side that chooses you today. Pause there. press into the earth and emerge and bloom into your comfortable seat. Soften your shoulders on your back, stack your spine, close your eyes, draw your hands to your heart in prayer or stack them on top of your heart once again. Return to your intention for this practice, or perhaps an intention for spring. Maybe something bubbled up as you moved through the practice today. Thanks so much to Cyndy for being a lovely model. Thanks to all of you for sharing your time and effort and energy with us today. In gratitude to each of you, happy spring forward, and hopefully spring is coming soon as well. Let's bow to one another as we say, Namaste. Thank you, Cyndy.
Thank you, Jolynn.
Have a great day.